Today, I'm going to talk about Versace Eros Flame and let you know if it is a good addition to the Versace Eros line and who this fragrance may be for. I'm also going to disagree with some reviewers because I do have an opinion that may be different from theirs, but it doesn't mean that theirs is wrong. Let's get into it by starting with the presentation. I actually did buy this in a gift pack. This came with an absolutely massive box. You can see it says Versace Eros Flame on the front, and then on the back, it shows what it came with. So it actually came with a backpack. The backpack is obviously a disappointment, but hey, we're not here to do backpack reviews. We're here to do the fragrance review, and this is the bottle. It looks like kind of the standard Versace Eros bottle, but it is red, and it does say Eros Flame Eau de Parfum. It has a gold cap with the Medusa head. When you open up the cap, it does have the Medusa head inside the cap as well. The combination between the red and the gold just looks so nice. I think this is probably one of the best looking bottles in the Eros line. This fragrance was actually released in 2018, perfumed by Olivier Pescio. My pronunciation is horrible. Roast me in the comments if you want to. It was made in 2018 in Italy. This is the second addition to the Eros line. Following that was the EDP and then the Parfum. So this kind of sits at the beginning middle portion of the releases. What kind of confuses me is it never used to actually say Eau de Parfum on there. So it makes me wonder, are they making new fragrances where they have to tell you that this is the Eau de Parfum version? Or are they just putting Eau de Parfum so that it matches the new style bottles? Let me know what you think in the comments below. The batch code is 2305401. The price of this fragrance for 100 ml was around $100 to $110 on discounters. Full retail price of 139 Canadian dollars. So the scent profile, let's go over the listed notes. So the top notes, mandarin orange, Madagascar pepper, lemon, quinoto, and rosemary. With the middle notes, geranium, rose, and pepperwood. And the base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood, Texas cedar, patchouli, and oak moss. Now you're probably not going to pick up all those notes, that's just what's listed on Fragrantica, but what do I actually smell and how does this differ from the original Versace Eros? So in Eros Flame, I'm getting a little bit of pepper, not too much, and in fact it actually kind of disappears a little bit. And you're also picking up on the mandarin orange, the quinoto, and the lemon, which add this bright, sweet freshness. And there's a little bit of a green element to this fragrance, which I did not expect. There is a mintiness in the backbone of this, which you're getting in all of the Eros flankers, but this fragrance progresses in a way where some of those notes are less detectable in the late dry down. It does maintain the original backbone of Eros in there, so don't think that this is a different fragrance. And a lot of people that go into this thinking that this will be a different fragrance, they're going to be disappointed when they find out that it does smell pretty close to Eros, just with a little bit of tweaks and turns in areas that maybe some people didn't like. When I spray this on my arm and I asked a woman, she just thought I was wearing Versace Eros. That really goes to show you that most people are just detecting the original scent profile of Versace Eros in here and are not really picking up on those complexities or differences or changes in the scent DNA. It may be a little bit redundant to buy this if you already do own Versace Eros. This does open kind of brighter than I would expect with a name like Eros Flame. I did expect it to be quite different because it does have that flame name to it, although I don't really see too much of a difference other than the fact that this fragrance is less synthetically sweet, whereas the other Eroses are kind of a candy apple or a green apple type of smell, which gives it this synthetic sweetness, which is very kind of aggressive and in your face. This is a calmed down sweetness. So let's spray it on hand to see the atomizer. Standard Versace atomizer, which is pretty good. Although some reviewers will disagree with me and some viewers may disagree with me, I think that this is the most versatile Versace Eros that exists. The brightness that is added to the opening of this and not the synthetic aggressive candy apple or green apple sweetness gives this year-round signature scent versatility. But because of that vanilla, tonka bean, and some of those pepper notes, it does have a little bit of a warming undertone to this. That's where some people are going to say that this is mostly better suited for maybe the spring, fall, and winter, but I kind of have to disagree. It does smell, in my opinion, almost like they're using a little bit higher quality ingredients in here than they are in any of the Eros flankers. In the overall scent category, I think that this one is the most mature of the bunch because it takes away that kind of youthful, playful, aggressive synthetic sweetness that you're getting from those other Eros flankers. If you liked Versace Eros, but you thought it was too sweet, oh my goodness, you have to try this one because it is definitely going to improve in the areas that you did not like it. Versace Eros, especially the EDT, is a lot louder than this fragrance right here. And because of that, a lot of people are going going to gravitate towards the original Eros and the Eros Eau de Parfum probably more than this. If you're a younger gentleman and you're trying to get attention, this is not your fragrance. It is not going to pull attention the way that the original Versace Eros or the Eau de Parfum will. I think that if you're going to compare this to any fragrance in the Eros line, it is only fair to compare it to the Eau de Parfum counterpart. These are both Eau de Parfum concentrations, but this one is a lot louder than this one. Who is Versace Eros Flame for? I think that this fragrance is perfect for professionals, businessmen, 25 or around 30 and up, that's not trying to scream for others' attention. So performance, let's talk about that. I got very mixed performance out of Eros Flame. The average longevity for me was a sweet spot between 6 to 8 hours of actual performance, but let's deep dive into the performance so you can kind of see what I'm saying. This does open loud, but not as loud as any of the Eros flankers. This is definitely more muted. When you first spray this on, it opens up around 1.5 to 2 feet in projection. You're gonna pick up on more of the citrusy sweetness with a little bit of those peppery notes and a little bit of vanilla in the backdrop, but that's far into the backdrop. You really have to smell for that in the opening because it opens so bright and green and peppery. After about 3 hours or so, this is when I found this started to die down quite a bit. I was getting just a little bit of projection, maybe like half a foot of projection, but I gotta say that that stays for quite some time. That mandarin orange and those fresher notes like the citruses and the black pepper are going to fall back. You're gonna start to pick up a little bit more on the mintiness. The vanilla and tonka and sandalwood are gonna come a little bit more forefront here. That same scent profile is gonna carry its way, probably with the same amount of projection until I would say around the 6 to 8 hour mark, where it slowly starts to taper off and then become a skin scent in that 6 to 8 hour range. So if you don't really care about projection and you do enjoy a skin scent or something that's a little bit classier, this is a good fragrance for that. With the Eros name in mind, I'm wanting projection. I'm not gonna want people to like shove their nose into my neck to be able to smell me. You're still getting good longevity out of this and good projection in the first couple hours. With all that being said, I think that the most unfortunate part about this is that I think that majority of people that smell this will be disappointed if they've smelt the original Eros. They're gonna go into this thinking, because of the hype around this thing, that it's a different fragrance than Eros. You're not getting much of a difference because there is the base DNA of Eros in here with some tweaks and turns. I still have to be honest when I say that I prefer Versace Eros Eau de Parfum. That's my favorite flanker of the DNA. Although, with everything being said and combining into it, I'm gonna have to give Eros Flame an 8 out of 10 and tie it with Versace Eros Eau de Parfum. It all comes down to personal preference at that point. I love Versace Eros Eau de Parfum. That's why I slightly enjoy it more than this. But if I want a dumb reach that's gonna carry versatility, I'm gonna go with this 9 out of 10 times. But for the situations that Eros was intended for, Versace Eros Eau de Parfum. Smash that like button and subscribe if you like honest fragrance reviews. I highly suggest you check out my review for Versace Eros Eau de Parfum, my favorite Versace Eros. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you over there.